you will agree that the world is more complex and unpredictable than before. We use the term VUCA to explain this complexity. What do we mean when we talk about VUCA? Volatility means that surprising things happen, often in ways we don't expect, and they remain unstable for long periods of time. Uncertainty means that we can't rely on things happening the way they did before, because the cause and effect are unknown. Complexity means that the situation has many interconnected parts and variables, which tends to be overwhelming to process. Ambiguity, which is, I see something, but I'm not sure what it is. It could be this, but it could also be that. It is what we call unknown unknowns. This is our current reality, and a mindset of predict and plan is not a match for the complexity of the content we face. This is our first activity, and I encourage you to grab a pen and paper or a computer to write down your answers. Having your answers written down enhances your awareness, comprehension, or meaning-making. I want you to do this for all the activities. Think about this. How complex is your current environment? How VUCA is it? Choose from 1 to 5, where 1 being very stable and predictable, or a C, EC, and 5 being very complex, or VUCA. Once you rate your environment, write down: what makes it so VUCA? What examples do you see that makes it volatile? Where do you see uncertainty? What makes it complex? And what examples of ambiguity do you see in your environment? Provide concrete examples. Take a few minutes. You can pause this video while you think about this. To understand these two different paradigms, we can leverage the key VIN framework. Is a conceptual framework that helps us understand decision-making from 5 different perspectives. We will be focusing on the complicated and complex domains, because those are the ones we deal with most of the time in our lives. In the complicated domain, business world is a complicated place. We need more analysts, more experts, more knowledge, more plans, and more mechanisms of control. Sounds familiar? The action mode in the complicated domain is that we can predict and plan. We can see what is happening, analyze the hell out of it, respond with a plan of good practices, and follow the plan as if reality will be bent to fit a plan. Reaching decisions in the complicated domain is always a trade-off between finding the right answer and simply making a decision, which often results in taking a lot of time in form of lengthy meetings and discussions. The complex domain is different. Complex is an ecosystem. There is a continuous emergence. We are not able to see cause and effect. The causality is difficult to see. When things happen, we tend to want it to control it. When we face the unknown, we often want to reduce it and control it. In the complex environment, systems are comprised of numerous components and interrelated connections, and their behavior is not governed by a solitary external influence, but by their overall structure and organization. That is how the system is designed. As an example, a Scrum team is comprised by numerous team members that connect via Scrum events, artifacts, etc. And their behavior is not decided or mandated by a manager, coach, or lead. Rather, their behavior is a result of their own structure, organizational design, and boundaries. This is the principle of self-organization. We do not mandate a particular behavior. Rather, we design and set the conditions for the team's behavior to change and emerge. When adopting and scaling Agile, the 3 top challenges that are continuously reported year after year in the annual State of Agile reports are as follows. An organizational culture at odds with Agile values and principles, 53%. General organizational resistance to change, 46%. Inadequate management support and sponsorship, 42%. Notice that there is nothing related to process adoption or implementation of Agile ceremonies and roles. Everything relates to human nature, mainly leadership and cultural misalignment. Keep this in mind as we move into integral agility.